All right, let's talk about APA citations. If you've ever felt like it's just about memorizing a million random rules, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to crack the code by looking at APA for what it really is, a totally logical system with one simple goal, helping your reader find your source.
So here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll get into why citations can feel like such a headache. Then, I'm going to give you a super simple 4-question key that works for almost anything. We'll see how that key works on real sources, try it out in a practice lab, and by the end, you'll feel like you finally unlocked APA. Okay, let's jump right into part 1, the citation puzzle. Sound familiar? So many of us feel like APA is just this big, stressful list of arbitrary rules about where to put commas and what to italicize. It can honestly feel like it's designed to trip you up. But what if I told you it's not random at all? The secret is right here. At its heart, APA is an author date system, and that's because its entire purpose is to leave a clear, logical trail of breadcrumbs so that anyone reading your work can find the exact source you used. That's it. So here's the good news. You absolutely do not need to memorize hundreds of different formats. Nope. You just need to learn how to ask 4 simple questions. And here they are. This is the master key. Who, when, what, and where. If you can answer these 4 questions for any source, you've basically cracked the entire logic of APA 7th edition. First up, the who. Pretty straightforward, right? Who's the person, the group, the organization that made this thing? This is always where the trail begins. Next, when. When was it published? This tells your reader how new or old the information is, and it puts the source into the timeline of the conversation. Then we have the what. This is simply the title of the specific thing you're looking at. The article title, the chapter title, the name of the web page. It's the name of the work itself. And finally, where. Think of this as the container that holds the work. It's the bigger thing you need to go to, the journal, the book, the website, to actually find it. It's the address, basically. Okay, so theory is great, but let's see how this 4-question key actually builds a citation with some real-world sources. This is where it all starts to click. Now, this is a really important idea to get. Sometimes you're citing a standalone work, like a whole book. In that case, the what and the where are the same thing. But other times, you're citing a piece inside something bigger, a contained work, like a chapter in a book. And that's when the what and where are different. Let's start with a book, a standalone work. The who is Martinez. E, notice that inversion rule, last name, first initial. When is 2020. Now here's the key part. The what is the title, but because it's also the where, the container, we put it in italics. That's a visual cue. It tells the reader, hey, this is the whole container. But check this out. For a contained work, like a single chapter, the logic shifts. The who is Brooks, the author of that chapter. The what is the chapter title, and it's in plain text, no italics. And the where, the container, is the edited book, Teaching Writing Across Contexts. That's what gets italicized. See the pattern? The formatting is telling a story, visually separating the part from the whole. This is a great question, and it happens all the time, especially with stuff you find online. So what does our retrieval logic tell us to do when there's no author listed? Well, the system is smart and flexible. If the who is missing, the next most important piece of information for finding the source, the what, the title, just moves right up and takes its place. And here's a perfect example. The title of the web page, Reference List Checklist, just slides into that first who position, because without an author, that's the next best way to find it. The where is the name of the whole website, Campus Writing Center. So, you guessed it, that's our container, and it gets the italics. It's simple, it's logical, and it's all about retrieval. Okay, this brings us to the Builder Lab. This whole way of thinking, conceptually, not just memorizing, is exactly what a tool like this is designed to help you practice. It's not about being perfect, it's about understanding why. See, the lab's feedback isn't just a simple right or wrong. It uses 3 tiers to show you the difference between a small formatting mistake and a bigger misunderstanding of that core retrieval logic. Tier 1 is success. You nailed it. This means you correctly identified all 4 parts of the puzzle: the who, when, what, and where. Your retrieval logic is rock solid. Tier 2 is a warning. This is basically a heads up. It means your core logic is good. You found the right info. But those little visual cues, the formatting, need a quick fix. Maybe you forgot to use sentence case or didn't invert the author's name. It's a formatting issue, not a logic issue. Now, Tier 3 is danger.
This means there's been a conceptual mix-up. For example, you put the publisher where the author should go. This actually breaks the retrieval trail and makes it hard for your reader to find the source. This is the kind of thing the lab makes sure you fix before you move on.
And that brings us to our last section, APA Unlocked. When you start focusing on this logic, you stop trying to memorize a bunch of disconnected rules and you start to actually understand the whole system. So, let's wrap it up. The biggest thing to remember is that APA is a system for finding things. If you just keep asking who, when, what, and where, you've got the master key. And all those picky formatting rules, they're not just there to annoy you. They're the road signs that guide your reader to their destination.
So once you see that pattern, everything changes. Citing sources isn't some frustrating chore anymore. It's a logical puzzle that you actually know how to solve. And with that knowledge, you can tackle your research and writing with a whole new level of confidence.